All right, welcome back to another episode of The American Entrepreneur, where we interview entrepreneurs all over the world. But as long as they're looking to grow their business or develop a team in the United States, we want to hear their story. Maybe they have something they've learned in their life that they can apply into some type of mentorship to you, so you can take and apply it to your own business and become successful. Because some people out there are afraid to become an entrepreneur, and we're just talking to entrepreneurs to hear their story of they're checkered with failure. They overcome obstacles, and want to let you know that it doesn't take a Superman to become successful in entrepreneurship. But the guest we have today is Matthew Timothy. He's actually in Holland, and he's part of a company called OneCoin. He's going to tell you all about it. And I'd like to welcome Matthew Timothy. Thanks a lot for being a part of this, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into entrepreneurial stories that you've overcome, or some failures you've overcome, some people that you've met that some taught you some things, and how did it all begin, man?
Yeah, it began when I was like 16 years old. My whole family, everybody here is an entrepreneur. So it's kind of in my blood, and my whole mindset was kind of brainwashed when I was younger to not go out there and get a job because like getting a job and stuff, that kind of scares me, you know. Doing one thing, you have to do one thing for the rest of your life. That thought scares me. I want to have freedom to choose whatever I want to do and wherever I want to do it. So when I was about 16, I got introduced to network marketing. Um, I went to a bunch of meetings, even though I couldn't legally start yet. I started doing my research. So at age 16, I was uh, like deeply studying the business, the whole industry. Well, even though network marketing isn't really an industry, it is a concept of marketing. But I started studying it, and when I was 18, I already had a list of companies that I was looking at. So a whole bunch of companies. I was looking to partner with one of them, and eventually I partnered with ACN, All Communication Network, and worked there for a couple years with them. I didn't work there, but I was a representative there, and I just started implementing stuff that I've learned. Um, I did what most network marketers do in the beginning. I was coachable. I listened to the uplines, and they said, um, go approach your friends and family. Make a list and approach everybody that has a heartbeat. Everybody.
Everybody who has a heartbeat, okay, they have a pulse.
Yes.
I'm contacting you. So your
Yeah,
family and friends were probably like, "What is this guy selling?"
exactly. And especially when you're young, everybody knows you. You know, you go out drinking with them. And here in Holland, you can drink at 16. So that's a lot of drinking experiences that those people have with you. So they see you as this party guy. What does he know about business? Even though I was studying it, but I was doing that behind the scenes. They didn't know about any of that. So, and then I came at 18, I started talking about businesses and stuff. They were like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Right? So in the
Yeah.
beginning, it was really tough for me. I signed up a bunch of friends, and some of them stayed, some of them quit. But I always focus on culture, you know, building a culture. I've learned that if you want to build a successful network marketing team, you got to treat them as family. And you really got to do fun stuff, you know, and really build that culture. And that's kind of how I operate now.
Now, when you said your family was a bunch of entrepreneurs, so you grew up with that in your blood. You just knew it was part of who you were. What did they do? Give me a little bit. Was it more of a network marketing type of company? Were they born brick and mortar? Was it something that
Brick and mortar.
that
Brick and mortar.
yeah,
Yeah.
brick and mortar. Okay,
Yeah.
so you learned the essentials of entrepreneurship, or customer service, sales, and the basics, right?
Yes.
Now,
Yeah.
if you have any questions, are you able to go back to them? Are they able to help you out at this point?
Yeah. Some things yes, other things not really. Like the biggest thing I've learned is do stuff you don't feel comfortable doing. That's the biggest lesson. I mean, you look at something, you're like, I don't know if I want to do this. Go do it. Because if you feel uncomfortable there, then you know it's something you need to do to step out of your comfort zone. Because outside your comfort zone is a promised land.
It's a good way to put it, man. Yeah, because you don't ever get to some place you've never been if you stay in that little real comfort
Exactly.
feeling of I'm good at this. I'm just gonna stay here. You don't get great at anything by just doing that, right?
Well, if it's working for you and you're satisfied with that, then sure, stay there. Keep doing what you feel comfortable with. Because if you, like, for example, right now, I have a comfort zone, right? You have a comfort zone, right, too, right? So
Absolutely.
you start doing stuff that is outside your comfort zone right now, right? So right now, maybe it is, I don't know, like public speaking for groups of 1,000 people, for example, right?
Right.
And that is uncomfortable for you, but you do it anyways because you know it's outside my comfort zone now. So if I go there, I'm going to grow. And then you hit a level that you feel good with. Like, this is something I've always wanted to do. This is my level. Then, if you're satisfied with that, you can keep doing that. And eventually, it'll feel normal for you. And it's your new comfort zone. You take that comfort zone, you expand it, and then before you know it, it becomes normal for you.
Yeah, I believe one of the keys to a really successful entrepreneur is to just never be fully satisfied. I know that sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but you can always become better at something. There's always something for you to learn. There's always
Hmm.
somebody that you can meet and they can help you out. Just to never be fully satisfied in anything that you do, and that's a key to it all, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you stop learning, then it all dies.
Do
It's
you?
like trees, right?
What's that?
It's like trees. When they stop growing, they start dying.
Yeah, I never heard that compared to a human being, but that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
You
true.
basically, I always think of the whole entrepreneurial pursuit as just a complete journey. Now, I don't want to enjoy just the rewards at the end. I want to enjoy the entire way.
Yeah.
So if you keep doing stuff that makes you smile every day of your life, and I think that's going back to having a job. I've had many jobs in my life. I mean, I've 20 different jobs. I'm thinking just off the top of my head.
Hmm.
And, I used to think that you'd always go to a job just to get paid for something you hate doing. Well,
Yeah.
entrepreneurship's the complete opposite. And you do stuff because you love it and you're good at it and you can offer value to people.
Hmm. Yeah. Sometimes you do stuff that you don't want to do, obviously, as an entrepreneur, and at the same time, when you're working a job that you like, then you might be doing stuff that you like for money. That's good too. I mean, entrepreneurship is not the only way. I mean, you can get a lot of money working in a job. It's just not the ultimate freedom, you know.
Right on,
I
yeah.
I like to have my own thing that I can take anywhere. I mean, if I can take my laptop and go to another continent and start working there, which I have before I went to Brazil for a couple months, I just took my phone and I could work from the beach. And if you can do that, then you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Job
Total
can offer
freedom.
that. That's total freedom.
Now, you were telling me a little bit about our. I knew to the guys that are watching this, anybody out there watching, I came across Matt via Facebook, and we just started talking, maybe bouncing ideas off each other, and that's why I asked him to come on here. And you were telling me before that you're going to, is it Brazil? Where are you going?
I'm thinking about going to Dubai.
Dubai, Dubai. Okay, and you might be doing a speaking engagement there.
Right. Yeah, we're building a team right now, and I have groups in all continents, but this particular group is my main focus right now on because it's all new people and there's a lot of wealth in Dubai and in Pakistan and stuff. So I'm focusing there, and they invited me to come over and train the team.
Nice. And when you talk about your team, your group, what exactly do you do? Tell me a little bit about your business. How do you get your name out there? Give a little detail about that.
Okay, so the company that I represent, I'm not an employee again of the company. I'm an independent marketing associate. And what we do is we bring a new currency to the market. Like Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin is experiencing like a lot of value appreciation in the past months. Like they went from 200 back to like 8 or 900 right now. And we are promoting another cryptocurrency, and we're focusing on usability. So that means that if we go to other continents, other countries, we're just educating people on how to mine the coin, how to use it and trade it and exchange it for goods. And then the concept is really simple. Um, like I said, we focus on usability. So in a couple of years, we want every store to accept the OneCoin so that when you travel, you don't have to exchange your money for like dollars for euros or Canadian dollars or whatever, right? You just have one currency and you can use it anywhere. When you want to transfer money from the United States to Europe, you don't have to go fuck around with Western Union and stuff. You can just use
Yeah.
the OneCoin, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful.
So OneCoin has been operating for 2 years and it's been growing like at a crazy rate, and that's why we are facing a lot of criticism. But for all the Grant Cardone fans out there, criticism is something you want because it shows people that you are a force, right? They say that the biggest trees, like the biggest apple trees, get the most rocks thrown at them. And that is, yeah, they say that for a reason, right?
Right. Yeah. So if you're not receiving any criticism, it means
Moving
you're not
fast enough.
picking a side and you're not doing anything worth talking about, I always think.
Yeah, you're not making moves.
Right. And they always say like maybe it was Grant Cardone, but I've seen a couple of those guys always talk about like you can criticize me, you can hate me, you can really talk bad about me, but as long as you're thinking about me is all I care about.
Yeah, dude, give me some haters. I mean, haters, they promote you for free.
Yeah. I don't and they would you say they motivate you for free?
No, no, hate, yeah, that too. But haters, they promote you for free. I mean,
Oh, hell yeah.
they,
I don't
they
agree.
might they might talk shit about you or about me, but they talk about you, right? And then the next person, they might talk shit about you too, but a lot of people hear about you. And
Free
then
free advertising, man.
exactly.
Yeah, if you think about it, like all the people who are on TV, if they receive a lot of criticism, they're getting free publicity. That's beautiful.
Dude, look at Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, man. Unbelievable. He went through more criticism than a person has ever received in this entire world ever. And look
There
at
you
this.
go. And he's the next president.
Oh man, and that's amazing. I'm still blown away by this, Matt. When I meet with all these people, okay, all over the world, doesn't matter what industry they're in, and they always talk about the criticism that they receive from their friends and family.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing. The people who want you to do well in this world, you
Hmm.
figure would be the closest people. Now, I guess because it's something different, they're not familiar with a company, a business strategy, whatnot. Maybe there is something to, hey, I just want to protect you. I want to just don't do that because I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah,
But it almost seems like the people who are you're surrounded with just say, "Oh, well, if he's going to be, who does he think he is? Why does he think he's better than other people?" And it really
exactly.
has nothing to do with being better than the people around you. It has to do with you just trying to become something successful in this world and be remembered in a great way. And your obituary reads something impressive, right?
Dude, have you read the Compound Effect by Darren Hardy?
No, no, I was going to ask you a book to read because I know you're a big reader, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He talks about fishing crabs. There's this particular sort of crab, like a particular breed, and they fish it like they put a net out and they put a little bit of food there, right? The first crab comes in, he starts to eat, and the second crab starts to come in and eat also. And before you know it, it's crab Thanksgiving. All the crabs are in there, and at some point the food is done. There's no more food, and the crabs can just leave the net. But since there are so many crabs in there, a culture has started to develop right in there. Everybody's in the net, and then the first crab, he wants to get out, but the other crabs don't let him. And if he tries again, they push him back in the net. And if he tries to get out again, they eventually break his legs to make him stay in.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's basically don't leave the group, don't leave us.
exactly, exactly. And that's the thing. Like they don't put in any effort to catch these crabs. The crabs do it themselves.
Hmm.
They're
Amazing.
free to go, but they don't go. And the same thing is with people. I mean, you're free to do whatever, right? There's like I'm a big reader, but a lot of people they read everything they get their hands on, but they don't implement. And there are some people they implement and they don't read anything, and they make it because they have the action. You have everything you need to become successful. You just got to do it. And a lot of people, they want to get prepared, get prepared, get prepared in order to start. You just got to start first and then get better over time, right? They say you don't have to be perfect to start, but you have to start to be perfect.
But there's two things that made me think of. Number one, there's a story with the fly in the gnat. And you ever hear that story, Matt? The fly in the gnat, where they are put into a jar, okay, glass jar with a lid, and there's a study done, and this is a very comparable to human beings. But you put a lid on a jar, the fly in the gnat will keep hitting that top, the cap, and
Yeah,
then after about an hour, you take the cap off. Now the fly will fly away, but the gnat thinks there's a ceiling at the top and is not
yes,
going to fly away. So it thinks that, well, I'm here, I'm staying here, this is who I am, and this is where I'm going to die.
yeah. This is it for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And going back to you have to just get started. Now, I don't know how you feel. You're a big writer, I believe, and I used to write every day at 5 in the morning, every day. And if I
Mhm.
didn't write one day, I'd feel like crap. I'd feel like garbage.
Yeah,
And same with my video blogs and whatnot. It's basically you just have to keep that rhythm going. You have to keep doing something every day. And
exactly.
at the end of it, a year later, you have a book written or you have a video series, and it's just get it started.
Yeah, it's like going to the gym. I just went, by the way. You got to go every time, got to stay moving, and that's how you create like a ritual. And then before you know it, I mean, if you look back, like for example, on you're a big trainer, right? Too, right?
What's
You
that?
train, you work out,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. 5 days a week, 4 days
Ex
minimum, 5 days though.
exactly. If you look back now, like a year back, right, and you look at pictures of yourself, you won't recognize yourself, right? After
Uh,
training.
I would say that since I go to the gym religiously, I look hopefully very similar to what I look like now, but I feel like I can do a little bit more now than I did a year ago.
Yeah. Well, like for me, I like what was it, like 2 years ago, I weighed 106 kilos, which is
220s,
230. No,
230.
220 is 100. So it's like 230, 240.
Wow.
And then in half a year, I lost 20 kilos
So like
just by
44
being,
pounds then, right?
yeah, yeah,
Wow. Wow.
like a big plate. I lost it in 6 months just by being consistent, doing a little bit every day.
Do you take everything you learned in entrepreneurship, apply it to every part of your life? Because I do.
Yeah, definitely.
So like communication skills, you're great at communicating. I can tell you right from the first time I talked to you. Were you always a great communicator? Was this something you picked up because you're communicating with people every day in different continents? Or tell me a little
Yeah,
bit about that.
yeah, I was horrible in the beginning. I
Really?
was horrible, yeah.
How about your writing skills? Do you write every day? How often do you write?
I write, right now I write every day. I blog every day right now. I put out videos once a week on YouTube. I just started doing that 2 months ago.
Beautiful.
And my writing skills in the beginning they were horrible. I have dyslexia,
Wow.
uh, and like I was born with that, whatever. And in the beginning, I used that as an excuse. My brother also has dyslexia. My dad has dyslexia, and my brother uses it as an excuse till this day. Like he doesn't read because he has dyslexia, right? My dad, on the other hand, he reads a lot. He reads a lot, like a lot. And I used to use it as an excuse. I was like, no, I can't read. This is it for me. I have dyslexia. It's how it's going to be, right?
Hmm.
And then at some point, I started thinking, it was around age 16, I started thinking, okay, I have dyslexia. That means that I'm going to have to work maybe 8 times as hard to get the same results. So I started reading every day, reading, 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 reading. And as I read more, I started being a better writer too. And then I started writing. And right now, I think it's good. I read like 4 times as fast as a regular person because I did some speed reading courses.
Nice.
But yeah, improvements.
You got rid of that limiting belief. Everybody has limiting beliefs, I think, early
Yeah.
on, and I think eventually you'll be able to crack them and break them, and then you realize that it only holds you back. That doesn't ever help you.
Dude, honestly, I think dyslexia is just a label and it's bullshit.
Do you,
I
I
think it doesn't exist,
well,
honestly.
Richard Branson. I don't know if we talked about this before, but Richard Branson has dyslexia or had dyslexia. I'm not sure if it stays with you or whatnot, but I don't
Yeah,
know
it
him.
does.
But he's one of the richest guys in the world, and he used it to his advantage. And I believe that's another thing that people don't realize is that if you have something that many look down upon as maybe like a weakness, you use it as a strength, or you use as motivation to become very strong in that area.
Yeah.
Like for example, I'm 5'7.5". I'm a short guy, so when I used to do door to door sales, I would be less threatening to the guy who's 6'7".
Hmm.
When knocking on those doors. So I looked at it as a very strong point. You use whatever you think is a weakness and use it as a strength, and that is what makes, I believe, a winner in some
Yeah.
aspect.
No, but like for example, like dyslexia and also ADHD, it's just a label to get you medicated, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I think it's bullshit. There's a lot of money to be made in drugs. So here, I don't know if it's just this country, but they label you with ADHD, with all this stuff very easily. Like, oh, here, have some drugs.
yeah. And
Drug,
I think there's, like you said, there's money in it. There's money in pointing out flaws in people. So makeup, all that stuff. Oh, well, with this, you're going to be better. And it's just a psychology of selling a product.
that's marketing.
Yeah, that's it. It really is, man. And here's another thing I just wanted to kind of bounce off you. Now, because I got into entrepreneurship, I'm meeting with all these people and I take sides on, minimum wage. Take sides on regulations with the government and all that. I become very opinionated. Do you find yourself picking sides more and knowing what you want and knowing who you are in every aspect where you become more opinionated in everything?
Yeah, I used to. I used to not as much anymore because I know it doesn't serve me well. Opinions are just opinions. I mean, you can have opinions, but you can also have results. So just focus on the things that get you further. Like, because there are little things. There are a lot of things that can distract you in a day, right? I mean, you have your phone. It's a huge distractor. You can use it as a
Yeah.
weapon.
Right now, it was beeping, right? It just takes your mind off of stuff.
Yeah, it can make you or it can break you. Honestly, if you are like your phone rings, you pick it up right away. That's a distraction. You don't need that, right? Or like if it's your business and you need to answer right away, sure, do it. But it's a distraction, man. Having opinions about stuff, it how do you say that? Yeah, it takes your mind off of things, right? If you're working on something, really work on that. And thinking about you have all these thoughts, it takes your mind off your work that you need to be productive about.
It's a good way to put it, man. Yeah, you should just focus on, and it's tough because you really want to be educated in how the world works, but you want to just stay really focused on your business because that's what's going to put money in your pocket. That's what's going to make you a better business owner,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the Fortune 500 list, then you can worry about that. But if you're not yet, then none of that matters,
Good way to put it, man.
right?
Now, yeah, if there was one thing that you went through, give me an obstacle you've overcome, or something that you've learned and you apply pretty much every day, or when you go to these speaking gigs, or I believe you have a published book or something out there. Like, what is
Hmm.
one thing that you harp on every day or in front of people that you've learned along the way?
Yeah, in my industry specific, um, I see a lot of people making the mistake of, working with a bunch of people and then kind of looking from the sides, like saying like, okay, you're in my team now. You got to do the work. I'm here to train you, but I'm not going to work with you. I just focus on me first, and then that's also kind of my filter, right? Like, okay, you start my team. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna outwork you. I make it a little competition, and then if you are ready, you're gonna come to me, right? So I'm not gonna be like you start with us. I'm not gonna be calling you every time like, hey, when are you gonna do stuff? You know?
Yeah, you wouldn't want that, right?
Oh,
You're
you,
babysitting at that point. That you don't want.
yeah.
You don't be a babysitter.
I mean, in network marketing, people leave their jobs to go to work on their freedom. They're not going to leave their job to go to another job and have another boss that they don't like. You know, it's the boss versus leader, and you really got to develop those leadership skills.
Hmm. So you see people who are, um, cultured to be an employee, and they need somebody looking out for them. Is that what you're saying?
Any type of people, but that are looking for freedom. I mean, if you can take them and put them in your team, and then they find out that it's really nothing different than the job that they were working before. They had a manager that was managing them and pushing them, you know? It's no different, and then they're going to quit.
Right.
So,
You want people who want to just fly on their own, but if they need advice or need some type of maybe inspiration, motivation, some type of guidance, they have somebody there. But you want somebody who can grow on their own and be, you know,
not a babysitter,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's a good way to put it, man. Now, are you looking for a lot of people in the United States? So anybody who's watching this, most likely they're in the U.S. But
Yeah.
are you give me an idea of who you're looking for? Are you looking for right now anybody to reach out to you? If so, how can they reach you?
Yeah, they can reach me on Facebook. I'm heavily involved on Facebook. Also YouTube. They can go to therealmatthewtimothy.com. And yeah, that's where you can get my book actually for free. The people that I want from the US, I mean, I love the US. I've went there a couple times, especially California and stuff. That shit is awesome there. Yeah,
Yeah, of
really nice.
course.
Cool. And yeah, the people that are willing to work. I mean, for me, it's about quality. You know, I sometimes I just reject people that want to work with me because time is selective. And also the coaching that I do, I do the coaching, I do paid coaching because I want to spend more time with quality people that are on my team, you know, because it's not just about the money. This company that I'm with right now, I moved from an essential services company, ACN, to OneCoin because OneCoin really has a bigger vision. I want to make this coin global for everybody to use because that will solve a lot of problems. So I'm looking for quality right now, and time is really valuable.
Yeah, one of the things I was talking about with another guest was how important it is to invest in something that's long term. Like right now,
Yes.
you're thinking long term. It's not a short term gain, get in, get out type thing. It's a
No,
it's a
no, no.
it's a vision that you're trying to build for years in your life, right?
Yes, yes.
Beautiful.
I tell people if you're not in it for long term, don't do it. Don't do it.
That's with anything with entrepreneurship. Now, I don't know if you've been to many business classes, but I have early on in my life. And you don't want to think about the exit strategy on day one, which a lot of these business classes are teaching. You want to think about, okay, how am I going to become the best at this? How can I grow this into something that the world has maybe have never seen before? Just keep
Said it.
thinking about that, the end
Burn
goal, the
the ships.
reward at the end.
Burn the ships.
Oh, what's that?
Burn your ships. There's no way going back.
Yeah,
You
right. Yeah,
you you take the boat. You arrive at the island. You burn your ships. This is it. There's no way back. I'm gonna conquer this island or I'm gonna die.
it's
It's do or
beautiful.
die.
I love that, man. Burn your ships, man. You're giving me some quotes here that I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna use them,
Yeah,
dude.
dude. Use post on Facebook. Tag me. That's it.
Cool, man. I really appreciate it. All right, so they can reach you via Facebook, the websites, all that. The book, just tell a little bit about the book, what you offer, because I think that was
Yeah,
really cool.
it's a little book I offer on Amazon. You can buy it, but you can also just go over to my website and get it for free. It's a little 8-page book.
Okay.
It's there's no fluff in there. It's just straight to the point. Because I see a lot of books like 200 pages and you get like 10% value, right? I'm working on a bigger book with like strategies and stuff like that with a partner of mine. But for right now, I just wanted to put something out to help other people, and you can get it there.
It's beautiful, man. Yeah, anybody who puts something down on paper, they realize. I always think like, am I living according to this book? It's almost you have to put something down to gauge whether or not everything that you are really thinking really applies to your business, and you only put the bare essentials down on paper. And then if you ever get lost in your own business, you can always go back to something that you wrote or anything that you're putting down and giving out to other people, because it's sort of a guide to you also.
Yeah, dude, that is key right there. Honestly, because like in the beginning with my first company, I was top three at some point. I thought I had made it, right? And then I started forgetting about the important stuff. And then
Exactly.
I lost it all. I lost it all. I didn't know what to do anymore. But then I went back, going back to the basics, and then you get it back. But you should never forget about that. You know,
Yeah,
and if you write it down, you have the steps, then you can always go back to there.
yeah, man. There's a lot of noise in entrepreneurship, and I think you learn something every day where you could start forgetting about the real essentials of how you
Yeah,
got there, and it's easy to forget, man. It's very easy to forget.
exactly. Exactly.
Well, cool, man. I really appreciate it, and I want to have you back on every time you have some type of big progress, or if you're growing in different countries. I want to hear you about it. So I'd love to have you back on in 2017, man, which is going to be one hell of a year, right?
Oh, yes.
Damn
It's going
right.
to be the best year of the future, the best year of the past, and the worst year in the future.
Nice, man. Yeah, I can't wait for next year. So we're gonna have you back on if that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Def-
Hey,
Have
thank
a
you very.
great Christmas.
What's
Happy
that?
New Year. Great Christmas. Happy New Year.
Yeah, man. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and tell Joris, which is one of your partners in OneCoin that I talked to before, that I said the same thing to, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of the American Entrepreneur. Like I said, if you're an entrepreneur in the world anywhere, we want to hear your story. What got you into this? Maybe you have something to share with others. And remember, guys, the American Entrepreneur will always create more. Thank you very much.